Good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Spring 2026 Commencement and Hooding Ceremony of the University of Memphis Cecil C. Humphreys School of Law. Before we begin, please take a moment to turn off or silence your cell phones. Thank you. Would you now please stand for the playing of the national anthem sung by our very own Alexis Tarver.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you. Welcome again to this momentous event, an event that acknowledges and celebrates several years of very hard work by the 66 graduating students who are here to receive their academic hoods, having completed the requirements of the Juris Doctor degree. Today's graduates also include one student who's completing the requirements for the JD MBA degree, and one student completing the requirements for a dual JD MA. Additionally, there are 13 students receiving certificates in advocacy, 3 receiving a certificate in business law, 5 receiving certificates in health law, 4 receiving certificates in tax law, and 5 receiving certificates in public interest law. I would like to acknowledge today's platform party, including Tennessee Supreme Court Justice Holly Kirby, who's our commencement speaker, Professor Daniel Keel, Professor of the Year, who will assist with hooding, Associate Dean David Romance, who will assist with hooding, the President of the Law School's Student Bar Association, Dalton Akery, the class speaker, Christopher Brown, Ursula Madden, VP Corporate Communications, Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, who will serve as our pronouncer. I would also like to recognize Assistant Dean for Admissions, Recruiting, and Scholarships, Justin Aromas Janisek, and Assistant Dean for Access and Multicultural Affairs, Jackie O'Brien, who are serving as marshals at today's ceremony. We appreciate their participation in today's commencement ceremony. Many members of our distinguished law faculty are also here to celebrate this milestone on the lives and careers of their students. I would like to recognize them now. I will ask each faculty member to stand when I call your name and to remain standing until all the faculty members have been introduced. Ralph Brazier. Jenny Bropes. Danielle Copes. Karina Fung. Deshaun Harris. Regina Hillman. D.R. Jones. Carrie Curley. Daniel Keel. Barbara Krachewski. Jeff Miller. Katie Ramsey Mason. David Romance. Andre Smith. Anna Vescovo. Faith Watson. And I don't know, did Jody Wilson? Jody here? Let's give her a round of applause too. You may be seated. Our talented faculty have worked hard to help our graduates reach their goals. In addition to providing teaching excellence, they also contribute groundbreaking scholarship and immeasurable service to our legal community. I am pleased now to present several faculty awards to acknowledge those contributions. First, the Ferris Babango Faculty Scholarship Award was established in 2011 through the generosity of the Ferris Babango Law Firm to honor outstanding faculty scholarship. This year's winner of the Ferris Babango Faculty Scholarship Award is Professor Regina Hillman for her article entitled Lavender Scare to Lawfully Married, From Deviant to Dignified, published last year by the Northern Kentucky Law Review. Professor Hillman. Congratulations, Professor Hillman. Established in 2019, the MLK Faculty Service Award honors a faculty member who has demonstrated outstanding service to the University of Memphis, the law school, the Memphis legal community, or the broader national academic and legal communities. This year's winner of the MLK 50 Faculty Service Award is Professor Faith Watson. Professor Watson served in a demanding and important roles in the law school, the Memphis legal community, and the State of Tennessee Bar Association. For instance, she was president of the Association of Women Attorneys and president of the Memphis Bar Association Young Lawyers Division. She coached our national mock trial team, which made it to the semifinals in the region, was the faculty advisor for the Student Bar Association, and volunteered at Second Saturday Legal Clinic every month, and took on 3 pro bono cases herself. Professor Watson. Congratulations, Professor Watson. The Patricia and Dan Murrell Professionalism and Ethics Teaching Award honors the professor who most efficiently incorporates creative and innovative methods for including ethics and professionalism into their teaching. This year, we have 2 winners of the Patricia and Dan Murrell Professionalism and Ethics Teaching Award, and they are Professors Jenny Bropes and Professor Jeff Miller. Professors. Congratulations, professors. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce Dalton Akery, President of the Student Bar Association, who will introduce the recipients of the Professor and Adjunct of the Year Awards. Dalton.
Thank you, Dean Strickland. I'm going to keep this real quick. I want to first start by saying that on behalf of the entirety of the class of 2026, we want to extend our thanks to all faculty, staff, and adjunct professors of the University of Memphis. Your drive has pushed us to become better advocates than we could have ever possibly imagined. So from us to you, thank you. Now, it is my honor to introduce our Professor of the Year, Professor Daniel Keel. It is also my honor and pleasure to award our Adjunct of the Year to the Honorable Annie Kristoff. Now I'll throw it back to Dean Strickland.
Thank you, Dalton, and congratulations to Professor Keel and Judge Kristoff. We are so pleased and honored to have Tennessee Supreme Court Justice Holly M. Kirby with us today as a graduation speaker. As you will hear in a moment, you will learn that she, if you don't know, she is a woman of many accomplishments and firsts. In 1995, at the age of 38, Justice Holly Kirby became the first woman in Tennessee history to serve on the Tennessee Court of Appeals. In 2014, after she had served on that court for almost 19 years, Justice Kirby was appointed to the Tennessee Supreme Court by Governor Bill Haslam. She served as Chief Justice of that court from 2023 to September of 2025. She's the fourth woman in Tennessee history to hold that position and the first graduate from our law school to serve on the state's highest court. I think that deserves a round of applause. As a lifelong Tennessean, Justice Kirby was born in Memphis and graduated from high school in Columbia, Tennessee. As an undergraduate at the University of Memphis, she held numerous student leadership positions and graduated in 1979 from the College of Engineering with high honors with a BS in mechanical engineering. In 1982, Justice Kirby graduated from the University of Memphis Cecil C. Humphreys School of Law with high honors and served on the Law Review editorial board as notes editor. Upon graduation, she served as a judicial law clerk to Judge Harry Welford on the United States Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit. After her clerkship, she joined the Memphis law firm of Birch, Porter & Johnson, where she specialized in employment litigation. She was active in politics and community service and served on the firm's management committee. When this firm made her partner in 1980, she became the firm's first woman partner. That deserves applause. I told you there are a lot of firsts. Justice Kirby has participated in many thousands of appellate decisions and has authored well over 1,000 opinions from appeals across the state. From the time of her appointment to the Court of Appeals in 1995 to present, Justice Kirby has won 6 statewide elections in 1996, 98, 06, 14, 16, and 22. As Chief Justice, she advocated for funding for crucial improvements to the system for representation of indigent defendants in criminal cases and families in child welfare cases. During her term as Chief Justice, years of collaborative efforts culminated in the judiciary receiving 2 consecutive years of increased funding for indigent representation. Those increases totaled over $26 million, with an ongoing commitment to fund an entirely new system for indigent representation. Also during her term as Chief Justice, she focused strongly on the massive increase in threats to Tennessee judges, their families, and judicial staff. During her term as chief, the judiciary streamlined its protocols with law enforcement, implemented an instant threat report system, strengthened laws on intimidation of judicial officials, adopted measures to remove judges' personal information from internet sources, and hired a director of judicial safety. She also tried to build public awareness of this growing problem. During her service on the Court of Appeals in 1996, the University of Memphis chose Justice Kirby to be its outstanding young alumna. And in 2002, the university's College of Engineering chose her to be the outstanding alumna. While on the Supreme Court, Justice Kirby has received numerous awards and recognitions, including the Marion Griffin Francis Loring Award from the Memphis Association of Women Attorneys, the Distinguished Leadership Award from Women in Numbers, and recognition as Community Mother of the Year by the Tennessee Justice Center. In 2021, Columbia High School honored Justice Kirby as its outstanding distinguished alumna. In 2016, our law school recognized her as its special distinguished alumna, and in 2025, our alumni recognized her as a pillar of excellence. In 2024, the Tennessee Bar Association awarded Justice Kirby the prestigious Justice Frank Droota Award for extraordinary devotion and dedication to the improvement of the law. And in 2025, the Tennessee Bar Association selected her for its President's Award. This year marks the end of Justice Kirby's remarkable judicial career because she plans to retire from the Supreme Court in about a month. Justice Kirby is married to Memphis businessman Russell Ingram, and she has 2 grown children, one of whom just got married in the last month or so. And the family belongs to Idlewild Presbyterian Church here in Memphis. Please welcome Justice Holly Kirby.
Thank you, Dean Strickland, for that kind introduction. And thank you, class of 2026. You honor me by asking me to speak to you on this grand occasion. This is your day. Much respect for your achievement. It's a special privilege for me to be here after having sat in your seat, graduating from this law school many years ago. I will always be grateful for the start the law school gave me and the support that I continue to get to this day. So graduates, I know you're gonna miss the Thursday night discount at the bar dog and studying in the 4th floor reading room and hanging out in the student lounge. Maybe a little intramural sports to let off some steam. But I also know that you're eager to embark on your new career. And you're off to a really good start. You've gotten a great education from a top-notch law school. And practicing law is hugely rewarding. People come to us lawyers with very serious problems that they cannot resolve on their own. You know what it feels like to be in a bad situation and have someone step in to be in your corner. Now that someone is you. You're that person in their corner. So you have much to look forward to. Knowing that, let's talk for a moment about how you can best position yourself to succeed as a lawyer. While I was Chief Justice, we reviewed a survey on how prepared law school graduates are to practice law. In the survey, 3 Ls were asked how prepared they felt to practice law. About 75% of them felt ready to handle entry-level law practice on their own. Then they surveyed lawyers in private practice. Only 23% of them, less than a quarter, felt that the new law school graduates were ready to practice law. That's not a ding to the legal education the law students received. Even with a top-notch legal education, there are limits to what you can learn. They're just things that you can only learn after you graduate. My experience on the Supreme Court bears this out. For most of my time on the court, I've been the court's liaison for the Board of Professional Responsibility, the body that regulates lawyer ethics. I see all the ethics matters the BPR handles across the state. New lawyers usually do fine the first couple of years, but for some of them, the realities of law practice then starts to catch up with them. They may get into trouble, don't know a way out, and they end up drawing ethics complaints. That's when I see them. What can you do to make sure that that's not you a few years from now? So when the mountain is steep and the climb can be treacherous, what's the best way to ensure that you will make it to the top? The answer is someone who has climbed that mountain before, someone who can guide your path. You need a Sherpa. We have found that the biggest predictor of success for new lawyers is a solid relationship with a respected, experienced lawyer, a lawyer Sherpa. For sure, there's some new lawyers who make it to the top of the mountain without one, but we have found that the single best thing to ensure success is having that Sherpa. Now, I'm not knocking your peer relationships with each other. They're super valuable for lawyers at any level, really, but they're not the same as a relationship with a more seasoned lawyer. They're just not. You get different things from the two types of relationships. A more seasoned lawyer has already been through some stuff, and you can benefit from their experience and perspective. So, how does a new lawyer come to have a Sherpa? Some of you may have been set up with someone through the law school, or maybe you're going to work at a law firm where you'll be working with more experienced lawyers. But if not, what do you do? A past experience that we had on the Supreme Court gives a little insight. When I first came on the court, we had in place a pilot mentoring program for new law graduates. Under the program, experienced lawyers signed up as potential mentors. Then they were matched with new law school graduates who had signed up to get a mentor. Many experienced lawyers cheerfully signed up to be potential mentors. Some of them were the best lawyers in the state. But the new law school graduates, they stayed away in droves. I mean, nobody signed up for it. So there were really no new law graduates to match with the mentor lawyers. So we scrapped it, but we asked the new law school graduates, why didn't you sign up? Some of the answers were being assigned a mentor felt awkward and forced, or they felt like their peer law school friends were enough, or they just didn't see the benefit. So that tracks, doesn't it? Recall the survey results that 75% of the 3Ls felt ready to practice law. The new law school graduates hadn't been out in the rough and tumble of law practice. They had no basis, really, for knowing how they might benefit from a mentor, and especially a mentor they'd never met. That told me that new law graduates really might not be ready yet, and that mentor relationships are better when they are more organic. So what do you do if you're not going into a work situation where you'll naturally work with more seasoned lawyers? Does it mean you just have to do without? No. But it does mean you're going to have to take some initiative. You might encounter an experienced lawyer out there in the wild when you're practicing law, and you kind of like their style. Maybe even someone who outfoxed you in a case. Ask them to grab some coffee or get some lunch. Make the first move to see if there's a potential friendship there. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Ew, that sounds awkward and weird and embarrassing. Am I supposed to just walk up to a lawyer, a more seasoned lawyer, and ask him, please talk to me? He'll think I'm a creep or a stalker or just pitiful. No, actually, he won't. Recall how many experienced lawyers signed up for our pilot mentoring program. Tons of them, thrilled to share their experience. If you ask a seasoned lawyer to grab coffee with you, they'll be happy to do it, I promise. They're not going to think you're a creep or a stalker. They'll be pleased you asked them. And another thing, once you're out of school, friendships don't just magically happen. Someone has to take that first step. It's just real life about making friends once you're out of school. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about going to coffee with a lawyer and saying, "Would you please be my mentor?" I mean, you don't go on a first date with somebody and ask them to marry you. It's just like any other relationship. You start small and see how it goes. If it doesn't work, that's okay. Just look for other opportunities in the future. But here, I've kind of buried the lead a little bit. The best part is, when it does work, it changes your life. Intergenerational friendships are rich in a way that's unlike any of your other relationships. I've been fortunate to have had at least 4 Sherpas. First, a life Sherpa, whom I share with Dean Strickland, actually, stretching way back to my undergraduate education. My life Sherpa has advised me on every life decision for the last 45 years. He was such a trusted friend that he mediated my very messy divorce. And I've got a lawyer Sherpa, back from practicing law before I became a judge. He advocated for me for both my appointment to the Court of Appeals and to the Supreme Court. And I recently had the joy of appointing him to a prestigious position on one of the court's boards. And I've had 2 judge Sherpas, both of whom are gone now. First, the judge I clerked for right out of law school, who advocated for me back when there were really no women judges. And my other judge Sherpa, who knew that I was reluctant to put my name forward for Chief Justice. He said to me, "You must do this. Being Chief Justice is your destiny." It was scary, but I knew he believed in me, so I did it. And he was right. Here's the other thing about these kinds of relationships. Someone who helps you loves you more because they've helped you. I don't really understand the dynamics of that, but it is true. They feel tremendous pride in your accomplishments, and rightly so, because they helped you get there. There's no competition, no jealousy. There's just love and pride in you. And you end up giving to them just as much as they give to you. It's part of the circle of love. You've been given the gift of an excellent legal education. Don't whiff on this last essential step in setting yourself up for success. Not only success in your career, but success in life. Go find yourself a Sherpa. You won't regret it. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for letting me share this day with you.
Thank you, Justice Kirby. To memorialize this occasion, I would like to present to you a gift on behalf of the law school and especially this graduating class. Before conferring the degrees today, I want to take a few minutes to reflect on the class of 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to report that these students have satisfied the very high standards the School of Law has set for them. The fact that they are graduating today is proof not only of their high aptitude, but also of their hard work, their perseverance, their resilience, and their commitment to improving society. It is evidence of their ability and fitness to fulfill the heavy obligations that the legal profession places on its members, and of their capacity to serve their clients, their communities, and the public with honor and distinction. So congratulations, class of 2026. These graduates have made great sacrifices to get to this day, but they did not do so alone. Their families and friends, parents, spouses, partners, grandparents, children, siblings, loved ones, and friends have provided material, moral, and emotional support throughout their years in law school. On behalf of the Cecil C. Humphreys School of Law and the University of Memphis, I would like to express our deep gratitude to all the families and friends of our soon-to-be graduates, those who could be with us today and those who could not. You have so much to be proud of. To the graduates, please stand. To our graduates, with the approval of the faculty of the School of Law, and upon the certification that you have fulfilled all the requirements for graduation, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees as Dean of the University of Memphis Cecil C. Humphreys School of Law, I am pleased to confer the Juris Doctor degree upon you and declare that you are now entitled to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereunto. We take great pleasure in presenting you with the academic hood for the Juris Doctor degree as evidence of your accomplishment. Please be seated.
There we go. Would the first row of graduates please come forward? Dalton Stone Acree. Alexis D. Adams. Taylor Brooke Ashelman. Frank C. Allen. Mohammed Safwan Ashard. Cindy Nicole Belote. Brian Stephen Blades. Christopher N. Brown. Tessa D. Cavender. Joseph M. Corridor. Shannon Michelle Crow. Nathan Lee Daniels. Catherine Watkins Davis. Anna Marie Desjarnette. Divine Marion Dent. Matthew Thomas Deutsch. Emmeline Grace Edson. Peyton Christopher Edwards. Meredith Grace Eman. Antoine Yvonne Estrada Garcia. Jacqueline Ariana Fernandez Sosedo. Mary Ashlyn Gatewood. Anthony Patrick Gaddy. Terry William Griffith. Casey Hancock Hall. Logan Michael Hawkins. Jackson Walker Henderson. Charlene Rose Garcia Hendrickson. Nathan A. Holloman. Clayton Alexander Hoover. Natasha Lynn Jeffries. Allison Michelle Jones. Loudon Gunnar Kelly. Christopher D. Marsh. Zachary Dylan Martin. John Hudson McCarty. Emma Grace McDonald. Hooded by her father, Matt McDonald, class of 1992. James Andrew Mead. Ruhiya Abdullah Mithani. Robert Atticus Nelson. Logan J. Norris. Jillian Elise Pierce. Hooded by her father and mother, Randy and Lisa Pierce, class of 1974 and 1985. Haley Teresa Polisano. Zoe Christina Romani. Arthur James Rivalto IV. Ellis M. Rivera, hooded by her mother, Lisa Rivera, class of 1989. Olivia Michaela Sanders. Kylie Yasmin Sarwar. Abigail Lee Simpson. Cody Wyatt Smith. Richard Stanton Smith. Spencer R. Smith. Laura Marie Snyder. Maxwell Stansel. Brooklyn Cheyenne Staten. Alexis Hames Tarver. Shannon Catherine Urrutia. Kate Alexandra Verbka. J.B. Wallace. Hunter R. Watson. Joseph McKenzie Waxler. Lillian Grace Weiss. Kyle Stephen Wilkerson. Brooke Janae Williams. Hooded by her aunt, Bridget Braggs Edwards, class of 2008. Landon Taylor Wilson. Izora Wood. I present to you the 2026 Cecil C. Humphreys graduating class.
Congratulations, graduates. You can now switch your tassels to the other side of your caps. The class of 2026 has selected Christopher Brown to address you all today. Please join me in welcoming your classmate, Christopher Brown, to the podium.
Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, Dean Strickland, for that introduction, and thank you, Justice Kirby, for your words of advice and kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the class of 2026 in this incredible moment, I'd like to first begin by offering our thanks and our gratitude, because we all know none of us arrived here alone. Each of us sits here today because someone believed in us, supported us, and carried us forward when we needed it the most. So to the administration, support staff, and our phenomenal professors here at Cecil C. Humphreys, to our families, friends, and mentors, to our classmates, and to each other, and even to ourselves, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please join me in giving these people a round of applause. You know, standing here today, it's not hard to think about where all of our journeys began. Those first days of law school where we were all shared a collective feeling of anxiety, wondering who would be the first to be cold called or be put on the spot by a professor. Or those early weeks of law school when we came to the realization that briefing a single case, one case, could take hours. And even if you spent those hours briefing that case and dissecting it and really trying to understand it, you may not even talk about it the next day in class, or maybe even ever. And I could go on and on about these moments we experienced. There's a whole litany of them. They shaped us, they tested us, and they brought us here. But today isn't about those moments. Today is about the future. It's about what comes next. And classmates, when I think about what the future holds for us, one word comes to mind: power. Not power in the sense of titles or prestige, but something quieter and far more consequential. Because this year's doctorate that we have now earned is much more than a sheet of paper or a credential or our ticket to practice law. It is power in the fullest sense of the word. And one of the clearest ways that that power reveals itself is through leadership. This degree gives us the power to lead. In preparation for today, I came across some striking statistics that puts that into perspective. Did you know that over half of U.S. presidents have been lawyers? And that's not a coincidence. That's a pattern that shows up again and again in American leadership. If you look to the U.S. Congress, lawyers currently comprise of 30% of the House of Representatives and over half of the U.S. Senate. And this trend just doesn't stop at the federal level, as lawyers are well represented throughout our country in governorships, state legislatures, and local governments. Despite making up only 0.4% of the entire U.S. population, lawyers have held the greatest share of political leadership positions in our country, more than any other profession. I think this begs the question, why do people specifically trust lawyers to lead? I'm not going to pretend to know the answer, but I suspect it may be because we have a deep appreciation and respect for the law. We understand the distinction from right and from wrong, and we believe in the importance of justice and the responsibility to uphold it. But regardless of what the answer truly is, the data shows that people trust lawyers to lead. So as you leave here today, understand that you have the power to lead. So lead. But leadership is only one expression of the power we now carry, because this degree also gives us something even more fundamental: the power to change. Who knows the law better than lawyers? And who knows how to change it better than lawyers? All throughout law school, we read about historic cases and rulings that substantially changed the law. But the truth is, those changes did not magically start in the courtroom. They started in a lawyer's office. They started with someone sitting behind a desk, surrounded by notes, statutes, and drafts, trying to turn a problem into an argument. Before there was a landmark decision or precedent, there was a brief to be written, a motion to be filed, and a lawyer searching for the right words to be heard. And nothing about that process is immediate. It is slow. It is careful. It is the work of refining an argument until it can carry the weight of real change. Because the law doesn't change in a single moment. It changes in drafts. It changes in revisions. And it changes in the quiet work most people will never see. And now you carry the power not just to interpret the law, not just to apply it, but to help shape where it goes next. So as you leave here today, also understand that you have the power to change. So change. And there is one more power we carry, one that may be even more important than the rest that I've mentioned: the power to empower. Because the true measure of what we will do will not just be found in the outcomes we secure or the arguments we win. It will be found in the people we lift up along the way. And fortunately, all of us already know what this service looks like. We all had to complete 40 hours of pro bono service in order to graduate. And at the very heart of that service is the empowerment of others. It's providing a voice to those who would otherwise go unheard. It's standing beside someone who feels overwhelmed and helping them navigate a system they never expected to face alone. It's taking something complex and making it clear so that someone else can understand their rights, their options, and their future. Because when the law is tested, when rights are at risk, when freedom is on the line, people turn to lawyers. And these moments may not make headlines. They may not be remembered as landmark cases, but they matter. Because for the person on the other side, they can mean everything. And that is what makes this power so important. So as you leave here today, understand most importantly that you have the power to empower. So empower. Class of 2026, as we walk out of these doors and into our future, I urge us to wield our newfound power and wield it responsibly. Because the truth is, the law is one of the most powerful tools in our society. It can uplift, it can protect, it can open doors, but it can exclude, it can be misused, and it can fail the very people that it was meant to serve. And now we are the stewards who must carry the law forward. So let us be the generation of lawyers who lead with integrity, who change what must be changed, and who never forget our responsibility to empower others along the way. Thank you once again to everyone who helped us reach this moment, and my best wishes to you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Graduates, for most of you, Except for the few of you who will continue to pursue LLMs in tax, this is the last day of your school life after 2 decades or more of schooling. This is truly a day of tremendous accomplishment. But all of us assembled here today, your teachers, families, and friends, know that many more, even greater accomplishments are sure to follow. As we send you off, we want to remind you that your relationship with the law school does not end today. You will be part of the Memphis Law family forever, and your accomplishments will bring honor to your law school and pride to our students, faculty, and alumni. I need to thank some folks who made today possible. First, in particular, our Assistant Dean of Students, Meredith Aiden, who organized today's events. I also want to thank Carol Landers, Hope Mahone, Joanna Darden, Justice Aromas Janicek, Maria Furman, Jackie O'Brien, Chesney McAfee, Andrew Hughes, Sue Ann McClellan, and all of our student volunteers who assisted off stage in these commencement ceremonies. And also, thank you to the Bluff City String Quartet for the music they provided today. Let's give them a round of applause. We're here at the end, so I ask you to remain seated during the recessional as the platform party, the faculty, and the graduates exit. Thank you, and go Tigers go.